Hola Madridistas, welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. You guys know the drill. If you're new here, don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. Big up our partners Manscaped. Just before we get underway, you guys know the drill for that as well. The link is in the pinned comment. LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com. They're obviously the pioneers in men's grooming, but yeah, they have a whole catalog of products, loungewear, trimmers, beard waxes, shampoos, you name it, Manscaped, probably has it. Show them some love, show us some love, and yeah, we keep it rolling. Um, Welcome my esteemed co-host Jacob. Talk to me, man. Mallorca away has always been, sort of a banana skin for us, and especially a game like this, sandwiched between probably, the two season-defining games of a season, wasn't exactly optimal, but the way we navigated the game, I think, we survived unscathed. There were a couple of incidents, which we'll get into, which could have, completely ruined our mood, ruined our day, given Barcelona some hope. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Qs would have been actually tuning in because they play right after our game finishes. I think they are underway already. Keep an eye on the scoreline, okay, Jacob, if you can for me against Cadiz. But yeah, people expected us to, really slip up. Mallorca has given us troubling times over the past few years, but today we saw it through, man. We saw it through pretty efficiently. Apart from a few lapses of concentration, I think we dominated the entire 90. Had a lot of neat interchanges, but lacked that final touch, final pass, final finish. Um, were you happy with the lineups to get it underway?
Yeah, mostly with the lineups. That was the thing that I wanted to emphasize and just watch today. That the second team, especially up front, all of these guys were new. I was hoping these guys would get some rest. Vinny, Rodrigo. In addition, I was kind of disappointed that Fede Valverde fucking played the whole game instead of getting some rest at least in the second half. But I was watching for him to get dropped instead, someone, even Ceballos, to play because I felt like we wouldn't have too much trouble building up and getting to the final third against a team like Mallorca. But for some reason, Carlo decides to play this man for the whole 90. I don't know why. And instead takes off every
Guller
other player.
was
Yeah.
another possibility in midfield as well. Like we just absolutely had no necessity to play Fede, man. Like he has been playing non-stop for God knows how long, and he's someone who relies on his physicality, who relies on his athleticism, to provide an impact more than anyone in our squad. And yeah, I hope this is kind of a measure of, in part, playing it safe with regards to how solid we are at the back, because going away to Mallorca can be tricky, and also the other part being him basically keeping his engine ticking heading into Wednesday, and that game is going to be played at a very very high tempo. Yeah, probably that's my thinking. What probably Carlo would have thought ahead of. But then again, take him off at 60, like he did with Jude. Like he took Jude off.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, it blew my mind as well.
In addition to that, this game I was really hoping Militao would get some substantial minutes. That did not happen.
Mm,
So now there is
mm.
no way that we can confidently play him in Man City if we actually need a defender to protect our back line. Let's say we go
But
like 1 or 2 nil up front and it's the second half
yeah,
at the Etihad. We would probably like to bring on another defender, right, to close out the game. But if Chomini doesn't get more than like a few minutes here and there, how can we expect him to play the last 20 minutes against Man City?
Militao, I think from the coaching stuff, from what they have shown so far, I think it's pretty evident he's nowhere near the match fitness or match sharpness or even physically 100% there to provide significant minutes because my thinking is like if Carlo thought that Militao gets some minutes in his bag and then he can be eased into City, he would have done that already. I don't think that was in the equation at all. I think all this is basically is giving him some, I don't know, some positivity, mentally for Militao, being reincorporated into the season and whatnot, with with a with a with a view of getting him post Classico into the mix a lot more. That's what I feel like, because if there was a chance, he would have definitely uh, tried Militao out. In my opinion.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Like, I think I was just disappointed because the media push, like all the Twitter accounts were saying Militao would get some substantial minutes, and I was
Mm,
really going through a moment of visual thinking. I was really hoping, oh man, like when we actually need to, we can maybe depend on Militao, but that was never on the cards. Looks like, unless, what we said makes sense.
mm. 100%, 100%. Apart from Militao, Guller could have really benefited from some minutes. You never know. You head into the Champions League, and Kamavinga, like he came on and made significant impact. I would think, Guller, yes, he is still super raw, but you never know. You might be forced to bring him on in extra time. Provide a bit of magic. Like this is the type of games you give him some big minutes. There's no injuries. Touch wood, thank God. But a game sandwiched between two massive ties where some of the starters needs to be rested. I thought Guller would get at least 30-40 minutes, man. Like, yeah, I think that's a big ask at this point. And everything points towards a big loan incoming for Guller in the summer as well. Um, but yeah, apart from that, Jude Bellingham did need to really start, but I think again Jude Bellingham is a matter of him getting some minutes in his legs. And again, man, since we are on Jude, were you happy with his performance? I mean, he was good, but the bar is so high.
Yeah.
You know, then again, when he went back and sat on the bench, he took off his shoulder strap, which again reminded me like he is, I think, playing through some discomfort. He isn't moving freely, I feel like. But yeah, Jacob, Jude Bellingham, like he was supposed to be the guy that would be the shining light, but it almost seems like even against City last week we saw that like he is sort of taking a back seat.
Yeah, I feel like it's two things. One, we have like monumental expectations of him right now because he was
Mm,
showcasing Ballon d'Or form basically
mm,
just
mm,
a couple of months ago, and then after those
mm,
injuries, he hasn't been himself. Even when he has scored after those in these last couple of months, he hasn't like
mm,
totally looking reassuring in midfield. He hasn't been getting to the
mm,
end of all of those tackles as he used to. So yeah, we just have monumental expectations from him, and
mm.
we were expecting like against Man City, like he would be the one to carry us forward. But turns out, I mean, I think for now we have to like expect that Rodrigo and Vinicius are probably going to have better games than him. But he's still
Mhm.
an important cog in midfield, just in terms of pressing, that presence, something for the back line to worry about. I feel like he still contributes those things. There are flashes of brilliance. He can create chances for himself, for his teammates, but it's not as consistently as 2 months ago when he was like really in that Ballon d'Or contention.
And he had a good shot that rattled the crossbar as well. Had a few neat little exchanges, a few neat little signature Jude Bellingham shoulder drops into dribble. Yeah, man. Like for me, it's super disappointing because then again, you make perfect sense. Probably the expectations really come into play. But yeah, Jude aside, some of the other positive performances. Sure, many again. Take away his goal, he was still a solid 9 out of 10. His combativeness is what gave us the platform to always basically pin Mallorca back. Um, Broker played pretty well, and then after the goal, he just had the swagger about him. He was like, this is my day. I'm gonna, completely seize the moment, playing, outrageous flicks, no look passes, back heels. Yeah, Chouameni was living it today. How much are we gonna miss him on Wednesday?
Oh, massively, man. Like immediately after he scored, even before that, I was just wondering, like he looks so comfortable in that midfield, at the base of midfield.
Mm,
We're gonna really miss that option. Even though he had a good performance, it just made me even more sadder because in the Man City game, we are absolutely gonna miss him. Uh, I don't know. And the other thought is that I'm gonna have to see Nacho against Man City, and that is not giving me a lot of happiness as well. So. Uh,
Nacho, talk to me about him. How okay was he? Was he okay enough?
Yeah, man, like he's okay enough against Mallorca, but he didn't showcase anything solid that gave me a lot of
Mm,
confidence. What's worrying more about this game is that Lonin showcased a couple of shaky moments along with his
mm,
backline. So the only person that we can absolutely rely on are Carvajal, Mendy, and Rudiger. The other two guys, as of late, they have been sketchy. They have that one mistake in them per game, that we want to avoid, especially against City. But yeah, man, like I just hope these guys rise to the occasion at the Etihad. If we don't, we're gonna get in trouble.
mm. Even Carvajal, you can't really depend on him too much. I feel like the Gluten Carvajal mysticism has faded, unfortunately, for a lot of people. And a couple of people actually, even Sid pointed out that Carvajal has really lost that extra, sprinkle of magic he had. At least the first 6 7 months of the season. Might be fatigue, might be basically a matter of yeah, not much rotation. But yeah, like at this point, the Lunin thing, I think it's getting to him. The pressure is slightly but slowly getting to him. The goal that he conceded, he knows that the ball should have been set better. He should have been a bit more aware against City. Like that kind of has already started playing tricks on his psyche. I feel like, which is not good. Which is not good. He knows that all the eyes will be on him. He'll have to bring out some Thibaut-esque performances to keep us in the tie and whatnot. That's all getting to him. I feel like probably this occasion came up maybe a year too soon, probably for Lunin. But he'll have to basically, yeah, shun his demons and yeah, shine away some light for us, because without Lunin being super confident, super comfortable in himself and his backline, there is absolutely no point even boarding the plane to Manchester, because City's whole philosophy revolves around how we can press opposition into making mistakes. And yeah, I just really hope that even the instance that Lunin had with Muriki towards the end, where it's a simple ball to collect, but then he kind of loses his grip, and the ball falls to Muriki, and Muriki, being Muriki, didn't finish it. Otherwise, it would have been a very embarrassing 1-1 draw, and Lunin would have been, the sole guy to blame for it. Um, More than anyone over here, I want Lunin to succeed. I was super vocal in mentioning that if Thibaut is rushed back to the side, I would really feel for Lunin. I wouldn't want that to happen. Idealistically, not we know if Thibaut was fit, he would be back. But Lunin deserves his place. He has worked his whole Real Madrid career to be in a position like this. And if we go on to win big things, it's a big medal of honor on Loren's neck. And yeah, I just hope against City, these guys step up, man. It's high time. It's high time. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just to add on top
Go.
of that,
Mm,
we're not
mm,
saying Lunin had like a bad performance. 90% of the
mm.
time he was good. It's that 10% of the
Yeah.
time that he looks shaky that really cost us in the Man City game as well. That was
Mm,
what I was
mm,
hoping to avoid. Like those issues from
mm.
Man City, I thought like we shouldn't repeat them. But again, that 10% of the time shakiness at the back line and the goalkeeper as well, plus the lack of finishing. Oh my God! Like we had easily enough chances to put it to bed. Like a team like us should have put it to bed 3-0, just gone to sleep, bringing on fucking Nico Pass, Arda Goler, but we could not afford to do that. Why? Because our finishing was so shit. And if we take this to the Etihad, I don't think we can get anything out of it.
I mean, many of the starters were missing. It was Hoselu and Brahim who were starting. But then again, you have very valid points to be vexed. Hoselu and Brahim should be putting the game away. But I wouldn't blame Brahim too much. I know Modric was livid. He he took out all his frustrations that has been building up towards the whole season. I mean, over the whole season towards Brahim. He was super mad that he tried to walk it in. Probably took an extra touch where there was some brilliant play by Hoselu, where I saw, yeah, Hoselu can really maybe slide someone in as well. He puts in Modric, and Modric cuts it back. Brilliant reverse pass that takes three man out of the equation. It was a tap in, and then Brahim does that. Yeah, it was a bit iffy. But Brahim in general, I feel like is the guy who can walk away from the game thinking that he gave his all. He was pretty good, driving at players. Whenever he took the ball, there was that sense of expectation, excitement surrounding whatever he did. Um, and I wasn't surprised. He steps up when we call him upon. He has more often than not stepped up, and I feel like he's going to have a big say on Wednesday as well. But again, man, like if you expect some fluidity, something encouraging before City, I know Vinny Rodrigo has been benched. Rodrigo, I think, missed training or something yesterday, so that wasn't ideal. But then again, you want a lift of spirit, and this wasn't a game, for that
And
at all.
this was a game
Mm,
to like
mm,
just go to sleep. If not for Doris, I'm sure a lot of the
mm,
people who are right now tuning in, they would have maybe missed a lot of the game because
mm,
it was really hard to
yeah.
keep attention to this, especially in the first half.
Mm,
Like in order to create a first chance, it took like close to 15 minutes, and Brahim had to
mm,
basically dribble the whole team to make it happen. That was how
mm,
laid back we started this game.
yeah. Priorities, you know, uh, focus was all on Manchester, man. Even it was even more evident when some of the the first teamers who are going to start in Manchester came on towards the end of the second half. Like Kamavinga is an all action player. Like he's never gonna be laid back. But apart from him, even Vinny looked a bit hesitant to really go in for 50-50s and whatnot. So yeah, it's completely understandable. But then again, Mallorca had two banks of four, right? 4-4-1.
Was a 5-4-1.
Basically, yeah, 5-4-1. Sorry, 5-4-1. Basically, yeah, basically just sitting back, trying to soak up pressure. But then again, they gave us more problems than like that I would have initially thought you know would happen coming into this game. Um, which then again gives me slight things to worry about, which shouldn't be the case against Mallorca ahead of a game like City. Um, who else should we talk about? Hoselu, I mean, decent, nothing extraordinary. He had a good chance to maybe score a goal with a header that he directed straight at Rajkovic. Um, there was many times where Hoselu could have gotten in behind, but nobody played him the ball as well. I could understand his frustration, but he kept walking, kept walking. He never gives up. But Modric for me had a brilliant game. Gives me a lot of encouragement that, against City, if things don't exactly pan out the way we want it to, then from the bench we have someone like Modric who can pick a lock. But yeah, thoughts on Modric, man? Jacob.
Yeah, I think Ancelotti said it best. Right now, Modric is in his best
Mm,
moment. He looks
mm,
fit. Every time he's on the ball, he doesn't look shaky at all. We're
mm,
absolutely gonna need him if we need to calm
mm,
things down. Let's say we go a goal behind, like he's gonna be the catalyst who can change the whole game.
mm,
Just with his calmness, his through balls, his tenacity. Those were things that we were missing from Modric earlier on in the season. I think it was just down due to fitness and not lack of match rhythm. But right now, he just feels like
mm,
he's on top, and I wouldn't
mm,
even like worry about it too much if Cruz had to come off earlier on in the second half or something, and Modric
mm.
comes on
Yeah.
because I totally 100% trust him to create chances and
Mm.
to defend.
100%, 100%. Modric looks like he has a point to prove, which I always thought he did. Even the naysayers, even when I personally felt that he was off the pace in so many games, towards the first half of the season. But he seems like he has a chip on his shoulder and really wants to. Uh, if he's leaving, go out on a high, and if he does well, fingers crossed. If he does well, probably get an extension, which would be welcome. Um, you know, at this period of how midfielders are more or more about athleticism and the physicality. A guy like Modric probably can again teach a few lessons to our youngsters, by staying another year. But Jacob, I think it's the perfect time to run the Manscaped ad. Pick up Manscaped, pick up Doris.
This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions Manscaped, and this season we partnered up with them to make sure everyone's grass is cut up to standard because Chavi has been complaining and it's been annoying our secretary. So join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this special offer. Go to manscaped.com, use code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at checkout. So introducing this season's MVP is the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's a trimmer with two blade heads, one to just take, a little off the top, or the foil blade basically to go super smooth, and you can use this in the shower. It has two bright LED spotlight so there's no accidents in the shower, and yeah, it's waterproof, it's easy to clean. You can put this in your travel bag, in your drawer. So to get the full grooming experience, you should get the Beard Hedger Pro Kit and the Handyman Electric Face Shaver. Basically, you get extra parts to really create your signature look and clean up your neckline. So use code LBR20 at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping. That's LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And thank you for watching. Back to the video.
You heard Doris, people. LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping on manscaped.com. Go check them out. Go show them some love. Show us some love. Right. Who else should we, talk about? Winnie, when he came on, looked right. Like it's a given. When he comes on, he usually gives our team a lift. Um, Looked like he wanted to he wanted to spread his wings and make something happen, and he almost did. That brilliant knock on past was it Raio? I'm not sure, but it completely had their defense in shambles. I'm not sure how Fede didn't finish that. It was probably too tight an angle, but that should have been a goal, right? Like stuff like that really just doesn't sit well with you, man. Like even another chance where Vinny's shot, I think, hits straight at he hit straight at Rajkovic. Even Brahim had a chance, through on goal. Brahim can slot it either side, but all these guys, they're shooting straight at the keeper. Like, what's going on? Like even against City, we saw that, right? Like we were here on the post match. Fede, Vini, Rodrigo, all these guys are just shooting it straight at the keeper. Like where is the effectiveness when when push comes to shove and you need to finish your dinner? Like I'm not happy with that.
And it's, I don't know if it'll happen this season. It's been an issue all season. We create a boatload of chances. Maybe it's not the best chances, but any top striker in Europe, they would probably finish it off. And we just don't have that killer instinct. We used to have that with Jude Bellingham. Any chance, small chance you give him, he's probably converting it. He gets into the right angles. But right now, he's not getting on the end of those. And we're totally missing that killer instinct. I'm pretty sure we need to create at least 4 or 5 chances to put one in.
That's the thing, right? Against City, it's gonna be us being basically having to depend on whatever chance we get on the break, and probably what City does to themselves, like they did against Luton. They basically it was Matheus Nunes who won't start, who is a French player this season, who lost the ball and basically gave Ross Barkley a free goal to take home. We are someone who needs to rely on stuff like that, but then we get our chances, we don't finish it. If we did finish it, we would be at least 3-1, 4-1 up. Or probably wouldn't have had a 3-goal lead, but still then again we would have had at least some sort of a lead to take to Manchester. Finishing has been abysmal. This just drives home my point again that Jude Bellingham had, when he was completely in his groove, he had that knack of putting even the most difficult chances away. We took that for granted. People said, "Oh yeah, he's getting into good positions." Now that we lack that, like even Vinny. I mean, if your life depended on it, Jacob, would you bank on Vinny to finish a chance? You wouldn't. You wouldn't, man. That's a sad reality. You wouldn't,
Yep.
right? Like he wears number 7. He's supposed to be the talisman, but he's throwing on goal. You can't really predict what he's gonna do. If he is really on his game, he would try to round the keeper instead of finishing it. Do you know that? That's what he tends to do, and that's not a sign of a guy who is confident in his own finishing. But then again, he can pull bangers out of his hat, like he has in so many
Bangers and
occasions. The goal we
assists.
saw against City.
Yeah, that's the thing with Vinny. Like, he's gonna have these moments, but he just needs. Maybe he has the horrible game, but he's definitely still probably gonna have like an assist or a goal somehow, putting
Yeah,
it out of nothing.
100%. But we need that kind of.
Yeah, man. Like, I
kind
don't
of
know
a
what to tell you.
finisher
We just don't
yeah,
have a reliable
yeah.
finisher anymore, and it's gonna hit us in the bum. Pretty sure.
Mm. Yeah, man. See, that's the thing, right? Like, if we manage to do the job against City, the Champions League is almost home, right? Like, yes, anything can happen in football, but then the opponents we have waiting for us, I think we can absolutely take care of them. But yeah, the finishing aspect is, it's so funny, isn't it? I mean, last season, that's how the world works. You can't have everything perfectly at your disposal, right? Last season, we didn't have enough midfield control, but we had plenty of goals, even from a half fit Benzema, who was barely walking around. Okay, he was almost leaning on his cane, but even then, he had a lot of goals. Even Vinicius even looked like he had a lot more goals about him last season. Um, but come to this season, we have a lot more stability, solidity in midfield, where we can basically nullify what opposition can do more better than ever. But then on the scoring department, we are just way off. Like, I'm not a stats guy. I don't know what the stats tell you. But, we would have scored a lot of goals. But then again, when we look at games like this in isolation, it just screams like a team who need a bootload of chances to finally find the back of the net. I just hope we can nick a goal somewhere, deflection or not, against City, and come back home with a win, man. Mendy, Jacob. A lot has been said about how he has to step down, be sold. He has had a few iffy moments himself this season. Hasn't looked exactly great in possession, but that's the thing with Mendy. When it means you need to switch on, when it means that period of the season where you expect the most from players, Mendy just rises to the top. And it has been happening for years on in, man. Like just last season, I think he was kind of, unavailable. I think that wasn't even his fault, really, because you can't really do anything about, injuries. But whenever he has been in the equation leading up to big, big games, he just looks flawless.
Yeah, I think the only question was we knew. I don't think anyone wanted Mendy to be sold, even if no,
Mm,
we know the players who are gonna come. Even if Davies comes,
mm,
we still need an
mm.
option to shut up shop. And Mendy, like Ancelotti says, is the best defensive left back in the world. Nobody wanted him sold. The only question was, can he keep up his fitness over the whole season? And he completely proved us wrong. Nobody saw this coming. We all thought, hey, Mendy's like getting older. He's very injury prone. He's not going to be able to maintain that, and we were going to have to make do with Fran Garcia. But Mendy made sure that did not happen. After that initial set of months, he's absolutely worked on his fitness, been available for every single game, totally dependable. He hasn't been making silly mistakes. We even saw some Zidane-esque moments from him against Man City. Even in this game, when he decides to run forward, he can actually do that. He has the control and the dribbling awareness to do that. It's just that he has specific instructions to sit back and protect the lead. That's the thing.
100%. He has to really be the fall guy for Vinny. He's the reason why Vinny gets to do his thing. We have to see if Davis really arrives. How much would he basically positively or negatively impact us? I was on this Bayern channel yesterday. Big up the Bayern view again. Liam, lovely guy. Um, from the UK, and we were having this discussion about how Alfonso Davis, for me personally, would mean not much stability at the back because um, our left side would be an absolute chaotic mess if Mbappe decides to float to the left and then Vinny is already there and then Davis is in the equation. All those three guys would be playing rondo near the corner flag, which is gonna leave guys like Nacho to bite dust. So I feel like like he will be a good addition, but it shouldn't be at the expense of a guy like Ferland Mendy, who can provide so much, so much. He just has this calming presence out of like about him. Like even in the most trickiest situations, I can see that Mendy really finds a way out, no matter how hard the press is or how difficult a circumstance would it be. But I think that's pretty much all the positives that we can talk about the players. Rudiger, usual masterclass, really wouldn't do this post match justice without acknowledging him and his continuing influence in results this season. Just imagine a world where we didn't have a Rudiger in this kind of form. La Liga is a huge start for me without Rudiger. Huge, huge start. It just goes to show how much he has, really stepped up this season. But let me get into a few of the comments and, slowly maybe wrap this up. Ashik was telling me earlier, big up Ashik was mentioning another pathetic performance. Mike literally laid the red carpet for goals galore, and we decided not to score with a gaping net. Um, he also adds, I'm sure there are brainless fans that are going to blame Carlo, but Carlo can't score on an empty net for these players. That's the thing, like I would blame Carlo for what he did against City in the second half, where Pep basically decided to tweak it and then he didn't exactly react to it. Instead, it was, I think, a pretty clear instruction. Like if you're getting pressed heavily and you don't have any other option, just protect zones and just fall back. I didn't fancy that, but apart from that, he can't really basically what some fans are asking of Carlo is use the fork, pick up the food and then feed the guys on the pitch. He can't do that. He just can't do that, right? Um, Ashik was also mentioning pathetic. The afterward to sum up the performance today. Marcus Winningham, bigger Marcus. He was mentioning solid team, but we have to improve on our scoring chances. Only that will make us win at the Etihad, 100%. I think it's public knowledge by now. Big up shot circuit. Who was mentioning Vinny can never be a good finisher. I don't know what's wrong with him. I hope Endrick comes handy for us. Vinny's finishing has been on a steady rise, right? Like these past 3-4 years, Jacob. But would you agree with me if Vinny's finishing has improved drastically since the 21-22 season, where we won the 14th, and then stagnated a bit
Yeah,
for the last 6-7 months? I
man.
mean, last year can be some sort of a steady improvement, but this year it has lulled. Yeah.
Yeah, like to a certain extent that's true, but I think for the most part his finishing as a winger for a winger is perfect. I don't think we should expect
Yeah.
more from our top winger, even of Vinny's caliber. He's the best goal scoring winger in the world right now, and this is the level of finishing that we can expect from him. He's not a striker, so for me he's totally fine. And you're right, it has plateaued. I think if you don't have that instinct, if you're not born with it, like no amount of training is gonna get you to where you want to be for a top striker.
Good points. And maybe it's the Cristiano Messi thing, where they could play at the wing and then score bucket loads season in, season out. But there are some anomalies, like guys like Salah, right? Like even he has kind of dropped off on his finishing front recently. But yeah, I mean, if Vinny really wants to, take the next step, I think finishing is what he needs to work on, right? I mean,
100%.
that's something we can agree on. Right, big up Prince. Prince was mentioning, did you watch City today? If we concede less than 2 goals, it's a win. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the reality.
Are we going to be able to score with all of those chances, man? I don't think so.
I don't know, but one thing I'll tell you, like Luton is a team that's gonna basically sit back, right? I think we'll be in a similar vein come Wednesday night. But then again, Luton limited them to very few chances up until the 60th minute, where Kovacic scored an absolute rifle finish, top corner. But until then, like they limited them to chances where it was not that high on XG. But after that, when Luton had to, Luton decided to give it a go, then yeah, it was curtains. And yeah, Jacob, I'll tell you, everybody's back. We knew everybody's back, but actually everybody's back. KDB's back. Walker is on the bench. Did Ake start? I'm not sure. But he's back. I'm certain. Ederson started. So everybody's basically back. It's a win. He also mentioned we will be humiliated. I want us to be humiliated so we can get Xabi Alonso. Prince Arthur, not today. Not today. You can say that if it happens on Wednesday. I am not someone who wants Carlo out, right? But I feel like last year's lesson was already a big enough lesson for not just us. Even the average neutral tuning into the Champions League, they just got a big shock to the system watching us perform like that and ship 4 goals. It isn't normal for us. It isn't anywhere near normalcy for us. And if they do that again, God forbid, what's coming for Carlo, what's coming for us, what's coming for every one of us. Like this would be a serious blow to our mental health. Even with La Liga in the back, the optimists would spring up from their graves and claim, oh, this was the transition season. Fuck transitions, right? Transitions work for Arsenal, for West Ham, right? For any mid-tier clubs who are aspiring for greatness, not for us, unfortunately. I'm not about transition seasons. The realist can argue with me all they want. I understand the reality, but I expect a lot from my side. Short Circuit was also mentioning, very excited for Karma's future with us. He is an absolute baller, 100%. Gave everything. He just looks like he's hitting top form when we need him. Ricardo was mentioning I have absolutely zero confidence going into the City game. Chouameni will be a huge mess, more than how we even think. I won't be watching that game. Ricardo. Jacob, can you change Ricardo's mind?
Uh,
Can you give him a couple of words of wisdom?
Yeah, man, like Ricardo, I would say just tune in to the first half. I don't think we're going to be gas. I think we're going to take the game to them, especially in the first half. And if that doesn't happen, or you can always have the option of tuning off, I'm sure a lot of people do that if things don't go our way. But you never know. Even the 3-1 against Man City, like that did not happen towards the end of the second half, So there's always a chance, but I think the first half is probably going to be unmissable. If you're a neutral fan, especially if you're a Real Madrid fan, you can't afford to not watch that game. So just watch the first half. If you don't like it, tune off. Otherwise, you always go into the risk of missing an epic comeback if things don't even go your way. But yeah, man, you should definitely not miss the first half.
There you go. There you go. Some massive reassurance from Jacob. He learned it, talking to girls predominantly. That's
No,
what
man,
my
it's
intel
so
tells me.
talking to Farooq, like that was something so
Farooq?
refreshing. Yeah, he was even more positive than me, taking away things from that first leg.
He's hyped with the whole Madrid trip, meeting Steve and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah. This is not the actual Farooq. He'll he'll somber down in a bit. So be ready. Madrid TV, bigger Madrid TV is mentioning massive game coming against Man City. He also said, not the best game, we got the 3 points. Now all eyes against City. The best way to beat City is to sit back and play on the counter. If we play all gung ho, we'll get humiliated.
I mean, we tried that already,
Yeah.
man. Last season, look what happened. Look what happened to a lot of teams who did that.
That's the thing.
And all of the City fans, Big Steve, all of them are every time saying, if you bring the game to Man City, there are ways you can actually hurt them. And I feel like that's pretty much the only game plan we have to follow.
Simple as I texted Francesco after the game. I said, Coach, I really liked one particular phase in the game that I saw our team really go toe to toe. Basically, took the game to them. I pleaded to him. I pleaded, Coach, this is the only thing that I want to happen on against City. I know there's going to be phases in the game where we have to basically, concede possession, sit back, and soak up pressure. But there should be big phases in the game where we give City stuff to worry about defensively. Because the moment they start thinking about going back, that's when we can get them. That's the only way. Because if we think of a utopian city where pardon the pun, where we can basically sit back, soak up pressure, and then ping a long ball in, and we score. That happens very few times against City, very very few times. Short circuit also mentioned against City, we should play on our strength, but always Carlo makes teams sit back and defend. We should go all out attack. What's your thoughts? All out is a bit of a double-edged sword, because if we go all out and lose 3-0 in the first half, we're going to be coming on here and basically blaming him again, right? One way or the other.
All out attack, like we never do
much.
that, man. Like even in the first leg, we never went all out attack. It was just pressing higher up in the field, winning the ball back, and committing a few players forward. We did not commit like all of our players forward. We Real Madrid don't do that. That's never going to be a possibility. But it's just that repeating of that first half, trying to get a bit more pressure higher up in the field. Don't let Rodri and De Bruyne and all those players a bit more space not in the final third, just no space in the midfield. Have them pass back to the defense. I think we can actually hurt them.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like for us, our pressing mechanism is so how do you say, it's so half-hearted. I mean, the whole implementation of it is just depends on the circumstance. There is no definitive press trigger like we had with Benzema, where Benzema was the guy who led the press. For us now, it's not as cohesive. That's what I take from what I saw in the first leg. And we can only press for a good 15, 20 is a stretch. 15 minutes max. We can press efficiently, but after that, people get cast out. Like we saw after that press that basically gave us the 2 goals. We took a seat back again. Um, we can't afford that. Like we really can't afford it. We should press intelligently, smartly. We should manage our stamina a bit better. But then again, if you give City breathing room, and they'll punish you. And going all out attack is never going to happen. All out attack is basically burying yourself even before the game has commenced. I wouldn't advise it, but then again, yeah, we have to be a lot more proactive. Just give City something to worry about. Just give them enough to worry about, and I'm pretty sure they have mistakes in them. Beat Ederson, Ruben Diaz is okay, but apart from that, I believe everyone on their backline and their midfield has enough frailties that we can capitalize. They're not unfallable. What I would describe unfallable is prime Barcelona, who you and me, all of us, have seen growing up. When they used to be, in business, they were unbeatable. But this City side, not so much, not so much. Even last season, they weren't really. They won a treble, fair play, but they ain't anywhere near the best teams we have faced. Um, Ricardo was mentioning City will play with no fear against us. They don't respect us like other teams do. If we pull this off, I'll be beyond surprised. Same. They lost their respect after the second leg last season. I mean, bro, like just think from their mental perspective, right? Like they saw us basically bend over, and basically, yeah, just be shunned of our mysticism, our aura. Everything was out in the gutter. What else would they be thinking, right? Like it's only. Ricardo was also mentioning in the last 6 meetings against City, we have been outpassed, outpressed, outshot, and they have always had way more possession than us. It just doesn't strike confidence. So wish we had Mbappe, man. That's what so many of the fans I was actually, talking to us after the game as well. They mentioned with a clinical striker, it's a different game. It's a different game.
Yeah,
But then, yeah,
I think we
go.
shouldn't compare the last 6 meetings, man, because just compare the first leg, because we looked much better than the previous 4 other meetings, or 5 other meetings, and I think that's the key thing that all of our fans should take away. That first leg, we found out a blueprint where we can actually hurt them, and we just need to implement that blueprint, make sure we can repeat that consistently across both halves, and not just go gung ho in the first half and then just sit back. I think we can take
But
away a lot of things and make sure that the last 6 meetings doesn't happen again.
But don't you think, Jacob, that last season as well, City came to the first leg with similar sort of an intention where, they'll try to level the score, maybe get a goal on the break. They wouldn't be too proactive, too aggressive. If you pay close attention to it, last season we had similar chances, but we couldn't get them. I would preface it by saying yes. This year we are a lot more about us, especially in midfield. That really helped us, carve out a few more chances like compared to last season. But I think City's approach was the same from last year.
Yeah,
It was the
but
same.
that doesn't matter though, man,
Yeah.
because I think even apart from the chances, our defense looked completely different compared to last year. We did not give them a sniff of a chance inside the box. Everything happened just outside the box, that zone 14 that everyone knows, And compared to last season, we even gave Haaland a few chances. He just could not make it work. It took a bit of special defending from Alaba to stop him. So that did not
But I'm
happen
telling
this
you.
season, and I don't care. Well, okay, maybe in those phase of game, especially if we miss Chouameni, we might not be as solid. But fair enough, man. I feel like we
Bro,
have totally improved in defense.
yeah, you have your valid points, man. Like I've said this many a times. City at the Etihad, like if you remember, me and Doris had a back and forth yesterday. I don't know if you read the chat, right? Or the day after the game, or the day after. I
It
mean,
was
right
just after
after
the
full time
game.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the game. And I asked her, just take some time off and watch what City does to teams
Man,
at
but
home.
I think
Bro,
what we were saying is we know what City does against those teams, but we're not those teams. We are Real Madrid. Like you look at the Champions League, who are the top two teams in this season? It's just Real Madrid and City. There's nobody else.
100%. But then again, bro, man, they'll just be. There's levels to go. What sort of aggression and pressing they showed in the first leg is nowhere near what they're capable of. That's my biggest worry.
Let's
You
see.
know,
Let's see.
yeah. In the second leg, they're going to be overwhelming us from the get go. I hope we survive the first 15 minutes. If we survive the first 15-20 minutes, without conceding a goal, like I'll be super confident. But yeah, we have to survive that initial onslaught. Big up Rahul. He was mentioning you need to be stopped.
Uh,
Who needs to be stopped, Rahul? You need
uh,
to give us specifics. Yeah, like he has something in his head, but he completely forgot typing it out. Big up Short Circuit, who was mentioning agreed 100%. But I don't want my team to sit back and let them run the play whole game like last year. It was humiliating. Man, the pragmatic approach is the Italian way, you know. Well, it was made in Sicily,
yep.
you know. So it's what Carlo's about. Metro TV was also mentioning City struggles against teams that plays low block. Just look at Arsenal, at the Arsenal game, and very few others solid defensively and playing on the counter. And with players we got, we can hurt them 100%. But let's be honest, Arsenal had a brilliant game defensively, but one off judgment or a miscalculation on a certain pressing routine or defensively, just one aerial ball that you fail to clear properly, and they pounce, man. That's the thing. Let's not get it twisted. Yes, City had a very poor game against Arsenal, but probably on another day, they score at least two, man. That game, they had only one shot on target, but you know what I'm talking about very well. Short Circuit was also mentioning, sorry guys, but even in the first half, two goals were the deflections. Teams finishing isn't giving much confidence. Yeah, like me and Jacob, remember Jacob, we had a discussion about we had an argument about the second goal, was it a deflection or not. It was a deflection, bro. Akanji had a huge touch on it, but yeah,
So what?
hopefully
So
we
what? It
have.
was still a really good goal scoring opportunity, man. The Kamavinga one.
Yeah,
Did you see the play up before the game? Before that goal,
yeah,
we
yeah,
we were totally
yeah,
controlling that
100%.
game, and
Mm,
I feel like we shouldn't discount those goals just because they were deflections. Deflections can change
mm,
the game, and it's not. I'm not saying that we should depend on them. I'm just saying it's just part of the
mm,
game, and we shouldn't discount those two
mm.
goals. Instead of
So,
that,
so basically, Jacob is the
we should appreciate what led to those two deflections.
100%. So Jacob is being the pro optimist,
Yeah,
claiming that basically deflections are our own doing. We caused them, right?
100%.
Yeah, you have a very valid point, because if Kamavika doesn't intend to shoot from there, it would be not happening. Short circuits. Yeah, I read that. Ricardo, he was mentioning another thing I noticed. How do we have younger players but run out of stamina way quicker than them? They seem so much more fitter than us. Even the likes of Bernardo, who isn't a physical player.
Bernardo isn't a
Bro,
physical
that's
player?
what.
What? Isn't he the guy
I
who
mean,
runs up and down the pitch the whole game?
I know. I think he's talking about probably. I don't know what he's talking about. Probably what he's meaning by the physically imposing. Like, he doesn't look like a guy like Chouameni, isn't? Like, he's so much more, leaner and whatnot. But I'll tell you one thing, Ricardo. It's everything that goes behind doors on the training pitch. City just trains super hard to press effectively like that for not 90 minutes. No team can come close to pressing for 90 minutes, but a good 60, 70, 50 minutes. They just work hard at it. Our whole philosophy is basically nullifying um, teams. We aren't about taking initiative, unfortunately. We have never been. Have we ever been an excellent pressing team? Under Mourinho, Jacob, do you think? No.
No, not really. No
Under
man, like
Zidane,
no, definitely
under
not under
Zidane,
Zidane. We played the deepest block. There was no pressing. Uh,
under Zidane, we weren't as deep as Carlo, I don't think, Jacob.
I think we were deeper. I think we were deeper.
How the fuck? Maybe my memory is fucked up.
Maybe I'm like
I thought,
biased from the last Zidane tenure, because that season, like, we were all about the defense.
You completely take that out of the equation, and that is basically him down to his knees. No, that's not the Zidane's team I'm talking about. I'm talking about prime Zidane.
I think it was still a mid block.
three-peat.
The diamond it just reverted to a flat 4-4-2 when we were out of possession.
Yeah.
But we basically sat back. There was no pressing. You think Cristiano and Bale, they like to press? I don't think so.
Yeah, you have a point. But then again, I don't think it was this defensive. Probably it's recency bias. But this is kind of, again, Carlo is being forced his hand with what he has at his disposal. But then again, we'll see with Mbappe next year what he's going to cook. But again, next year, if we want to get to a respectable spot in the Champions League, we'll have to face City and get over them. But yeah, again, big up every single one of you in the chat. Halfway through this, post match, it turned out to be a City, preview again, right, Jacob? We can't help it. If the chat dictates it, like, why not? This is our focus, man. This is the moment that basically is going to define our season. So big up every single one of you in the chat. You guys know the drill. Go check out manscaped.com, LBI20 to get 20% off and free shipping on Manscaped products. Go give some love to our partners, OGs, Real Madrid Committee. The link is in the description below. They run a brilliant fan page on Instagram. Go check them out. Yeah, man, hopefully. Let me give you guys a sneak peek for what's coming. Monday, hopefully we'll be having Steve on. Probably 3 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. UK, I guess, or 4 p.m. UK, 4 p.m. EST, 9 p.m. UK, my bad. Around that time, and then hopefully, on Tuesday we'll be going over to him as well. So plenty of stuff in the pipeline, ahead of City, some stuff from Madrid also, underway. With Steve, and we'll be talking to some people regarding their initial thoughts about how they're gonna basically watch the City game, like what sort of mentality they would be in. Short Circuit was mentioning, I hope it doesn't happen, but in case we lose the second leg, do you see Carlo leaving next season? If yes, who will be a first choice, Zizou or Xabi? If not, then why should he stay? For me, he shouldn't be sacked, right? He won us the La Liga, and more importantly, I think he is the guy to basically implement Mbappe into the side. Because, I don't think anyone else can basically handle his ego. I don't know if he has much of an ego. I don't know if the PSG suckers makes him, like, he seems to be a humble guy. Right? Like, I don't probably, humble is a very,
humble is a strong
very
word.
assertive word. But he's okay, right? Like,
he looks like he has a certain group of friends, and he gels along well with them. But anyone outside of that, like, that just strikes me as the kind of person that he is. But I think he's just loyal to his
But do you
friends.
see a world where he and Vinicius doesn't mingle or doesn't?
I think greatness. That was the case with Cristiano and Bale as well. Like, the media like to portray, man, these guys are competitors. These guys play in the same spot. But once it's up to the coach to incorporate both of these great players into the team, and once that happens, I don't think there's like going to be any bad blood between them. And Vinny is such a great guy. You hear it from even the seniors. He's such a great guy as a person. I don't think anyone can like not gel with him.
And do you remember Rodrigo's picture with Mbappe last summer as well?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a formal, let me take a picture with Mbappe kind of deal. They were just, hugging it out. So, man, I don't think there'll be any issues with that. But Xabi Alonso is too early for me, man. Like, I would trust Zizou if that's the case. Zizou's the guy.
Yeah, for me, like, this isn't even a possibility, man. Like, even if we lose massively in the Champions League, I still feel like the board has to see what he has done this season with all the injuries. It's nothing short of a miracle that we have been so defensively solid. He has managed the squad so well. He basically started the season without a striker. He had to make up his own striker into the system somehow. He had to depend on Joselu to get us wins. I don't think any other coach can like do the things that he did this season. So the board recognizes that, and I don't think he's ever going to get sacked. But if he does, probably another Zizou. Give him his favorite child Mbappe to play with. I'm pretty sure he's going to make great things happen.
100%. Big up Yo. He's back like last season. He was mentioning you guys need to go to the other channel and do the preview. 100%. I'm ready for all the backlash. I wouldn't have as much chest as I did last season. Thankfully, I mean it's a conscious decision. Like I really would want to have chest, but you can't, right? We are not in that kind of a position. Ricardo was also mentioning City reminds me of Lyon back in the days, who had been a bulky team for us. We used to have a horrible record against them until we signed Cristiano and co. Yeah, Lyon used to be someone who had a number. You was mentioning to grow the channel. Contact its only extra City Extra or Never Fall Daps. 100%. Yeah, man. Why not? It's just a matter of schedule and whatnot. We would love to work with City Extra or Daps or any of the City guys, but that it's so jam packed. Like it's not so easy to juggle all of this at the same time. But yeah, man, big up. Thanks for the love. Short Circuit was also mentioning big up, guys. Ala Madrid. I see you guys post game after killing City. Fingers crossed.
Vamos.
Hope your premonition comes true. Short Circuit. Pick up the chat again. But yeah, people. Hopefully see you on Monday. Until then, Ala Madrid.
Ala Madrid.